Hello from Kansas, everyone. We are here today at the Revive the Past headquarters because we have been rained out this weekend. The weather has been particularly nasty, so we thought we would take this opportunity to show you all what we do on site and how we go about preserving and collecting the items that we find. Firstly, we start with our protective gear. Now, you won't see this very often on film because, well, frankly, it's not very attractive. And it's not something everybody wants to see us wandering around in our gear. We use gloves, of course. These are non-latex mechanics gloves. These not only protect the items from the oils of our skin, but they protect us from anything we might find in the dirt. Whenever you go into an old building that's been abandoned or places that are just old, you don't really know what's in there. We have encountered everything from animal remains, animal feces, microbes in the dirt, mushrooms that release spores. So it's very, very important that first and foremost you have these on. And when we're working with items that are very heavy, like if we need to remove a floor joist or move a very big heavy object, we wear heavy duty gloves on top of these. Another thing we always make sure that we have on is our dust masks. Just sweeping the floor kicks up a lot of dirt, and any kind of viruses, microbes, all that stuff gets kicked into the air, so you want to make sure that you have something like this on. We also always have on our safety glasses because, again, you don't know what's flying around in the air. So this at least will protect your eyes from getting small particles out of your eyes. And just a word of warning, if you do find an abandoned place, make sure you have permission to go in. You don't want to be trespassing someplace that you really shouldn't be. There are a lot of hidden dangers. You never know when you might fall through a floor. You may not be able to see well. So make sure you have permission to go into a place before you go. Now, with all this protective gear on, we start sifting through, digging, and finding objects. I think in an earlier video we showed you how I sit in my little station and I take my little dustpan and just very gently go through the dirt and find things. When I find an object, it goes into a bin to be sorted. From that little bin, it gets divided into 3 categories: either wood, paper, or metal. And from there it gets sorted into bigger bins depending on what it is. We don't want to put big heavy metal objects in with, say, our delicate paper. That might ruin an object. So everything gets put in there. Then it gets brought back here to the headquarters for cleaning. One of the easiest things for us to clean are metal objects. And again, what you have to determine is, what is the metal made of? Now, we are novices, and we don't claim to be professionals at this, but we do want to maintain the integrity of the item. And sometimes the best thing to do is just not do anything. That way you do maintain the integrity. But there are a few little things we can do to clean the item up to determine what they are. A little bit of water and a soft rag on metal won't do it much harm. So at least that way we can figure out what's it made of. Is it tin? Is it copper? Is it brass? Is it silver? That's what we have to determine. And there are certain cleaning agents and stuff that you can buy over the counter to help with that process of cleaning up different kinds of metals. But we don't do a whole lot of that, again, because we want to maintain the integrity of the item. Another thing that's a little bit harder to clean than metal is wood. And isn't this wonderful? It says Kratzer Brothers, Vollen, Kansas. This came off of a wood crate that was in the store. As you can see, the wood is actually in pretty good condition. There's not a whole lot more we're going to want to do with it. So, you place it on a nice flat surface, and the most we probably want to do with this is take a soft brush, like a soft paintbrush, and just remove the loose dirt so that it's better readable. Get rid of things like little old spider nests. Make sure that there's no extra pieces that are falling off of it. As you can see, this piece hasn't been cleaned yet, but it's due for cleaning. The hardest thing to clean is paper. Paper is so delicate, and again, you want to maintain as much of the integrity of a piece as you can. Now, we haven't shown this piece before yet because it's got a lot of damage, but the color is so beautiful on this. This is Mica Axle Grease, Standard Oil Company. We don't have a date on the piece yet, but you can see there's a lot of damage. Stains, tears, little mice have used parts of it probably for a nest. The best thing to do with this is probably get a professional preservationist to fix it up. But what we can do to at least prevent more damage to it is by taking a very, very soft brush and lightly, all in one direction, just brushing the loose dirt off of it. And by doing that, you won't have the abrasion of any dirt wrecking what's left of this beautiful piece. Then what we do, or well, what we'll do with this piece is it'll get put between some clean paper and just kept as it is until we can find somebody to actually do a real preservation on it. One of the items that we've been finding lots of that you guys have been hearing probably a lot about are the buttons. All of the buttons that we found throughout the store, and this is just a small sample of the different kinds of buttons that we've had, and I just jumbled a whole bunch of them. All the buttons are sorted by size, type, and how they look. And it's pretty easy once you get looking at them to see which ones belong together and which ones don't. We have buttons that are made of metal. We have little buttons made of wood, and then various other kinds of buttons. Some of these are so delicate and so fragile, it's very hard to clean something like this. These have all been cleaned already, and the next step for them is to be bagged up in little baggies so that we can get identification. Once an item's been identified, then we begin the process of researching that item. Now, some items, we know pretty much what they are, we just don't know when they are from. Now, recently, I posted a picture of our little segs up on Facebook. And I was going to begin doing the research on this item to see when they were from. We've actually got the metal segs still in the original packaging. And I was looking at this item and I realized that it was made in England by Blakely's Boot Protector LTC from Leeds, England. Now, we have many resources to be able to research an object. One of the resources we use is we have these wonderful recreated catalogs of companies that sold stuff out of general stores back in that time frame. I'm holding here the Montgomery Ward 1895 catalog. And anybody who saw the video from the "What is this thing in the basement?" this is how we found out that it was an egg incubator. Now, not every object is going to be in these catalogs. With the segs in particular, I thought I would just Google it. You never know what you can find. We actually found out that this company is still in production in England. They started production in 1880 and they are still going strong today. So I sent them an email and asked, could you guys maybe give us some information? Do you know when these might have been produced? And we got a response back. We are still waiting to hear exactly when these were produced, but the company has been kind enough to do a little research to try and pin down exactly when these were produced. We're very excited to hear back, and hopefully I'll be able to update you soon with the information. You never know where you're going to find resources to be able to investigate this stuff, but what a great adventure trying to find out. I hope you've enjoyed today's little explanation on what we do. Keep in mind that this just is the minimal explanation of what we go through. Thanks for watching our video today, and we'll see you next time.